Howdy everyone, I just got back from the grocery store and I found some cherries on sale. And what did I think? Well, I thought cherry pie, so I decided I'm going to make a cherry pie. But it's a little late to make a fresh homemade crust. So I went ahead and I bought some already made. And the package has two, which I've already had out here outside of the box in the room temperature. I've got my plate ready to go. I've already rinsed off enough cherries that I believe will fit into my pie plate. Now, I didn't take into account was that I was going to have to pit these. So, that's what I'm doing. I'm just chopping them up, removing the pits, and then what I'll do is I'm going to put them in a pot and cook them with a little bit of water and sugar. And I'll be right back with that. Alright, so I've got this water that I've boiled, and I've chopped up all the cherries with no pits, and I did about 2 cups. And I noticed that every time that I have purchased like canned cherries, it's about a cup and a half of cherries with the syrup. So what I did is I boiled sugar and water, and that was a cup of water in there with about 6 tablespoons of sugar. I don't know if that's enough because I'm just doing this on my own. I'm not following a recipe. And I've added my cherries. I'm going to put them on the stove top so they can cook and get soft, and I can mash them up a bit. And then I've gone ahead and I've got this pie crust in my pan, and I'm going to bake that up just a little bit. So when I do add my cherries in there, and then the other pie crust on top, I will know that the bottom crust did get baked because of the liquid in here. I don't know if it will bake correctly if I leave it raw, so I'm going to bake that a little bit first, and I'll be back. Alright, so here we go. My other crust is out of the oven, and the cherries are done cooking, and I've let them cool off first. And this is my second pie crust, and what I've done is I've just cut it down in strips. And I've already put my cherries in my pre-baked pie crust, and I made an X with some of the strips from the second pie crust. I'm going to lift this over and set a strip of pie crust down. Bring that back like so, and then I'll do the same on the other side. Then I'm going to continue in the next one. I'm not going to put it underneath, but rather over. Like that, sorry. Yeah, like that. Now, what I was thinking is I really shouldn't have baked my other pie crust, because what I end up doing on the edges is I end up pressing this into the other raw pie crust, and then I cut off the little bits that are too long, and then I end up rolling them up and then adding them over, and end up making a second not a second, but a little edge, and then I scallop it. And that's what I do when I normally make a pie, but I decided to do this differently. But I think it's still going to work. I think it's still going to look good. And like I said, I made 2 cups of cherries, which I cooked down in that water and sugar simple syrup, and that created that syrupy liquid now that is in there. And this is a really deep pie crust. So I think that if I'd have done maybe 2.5 cups or maybe 3 cups of cherries, this would have been really nice and full. But then, of course, when you cut into the pie, that's one thick pie. So I'm just going to go ahead and just accept the fact that this is only 2 cups of cherries in this one deep pie dish. All right, I'll be back when I'm done finished doing the lattice work and arranging my little edge, and then I'll be ready to bake it. Okay, here we go. I have finished doing all the lattice work, and I did a little edge around it also, and I ended up using a fork to press on it to just do that little bit of a design on it, because it wasn't enough to actually do a little scalloping. And I decided with a little bit that was left over, I made some little cherry shapes there with little stems on them. So that's my cherry pie. Now the instructions for on the box for the crust said if I was going to do a 2-crust pie, or fruit pie, that I should bake it in a 425-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. Well, I don't like to put my oven any higher than a 400 degrees. So I just went ahead and baked it. I'm going to bake it at 400 degrees. And it's already ready because I obviously did the first pie crust already, which only took about 8 minutes or so. And I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to put the timer for 12 minutes, but I'm going to check it. So I may need a little bit longer. I may need 18, because that's what I'm kind of thinking. I baked the last pie that I made with some fresh peaches and a fresh pie crust. Well, anyway, if you like a recipe for a fresh pie crust, which is really easy, let me know, and I will do a video on that next time, and maybe do some apples or peaches or something different from the cherries. Cherries, by the way, are so delicious. I ate them just as they are, and they're so delicious I can't stop popping them in my mouth, but I will, because this pie is going to come out, and I'm going to serve it with some vanilla ice cream. And I'll be back with the final results. And here we go. The pie is out of the oven, and yeah, it took about 18 minutes. I set it for 12 minutes, and then I added another 6 minutes because I wanted it to get a little bit more golden, and it could probably use a little bit more, but I think it's just fine. I see the cherries nice and bubbling inside, and now I'm going to plate it. And it was 400 degrees. That's what I ended up using. I'll be right back. And here we go. Our cherry pie is now plated. I am going to put one, if I can get it off the spoon, 1, 2 small scoops, and a little bit of whipped cream on top. That's bigger than the pie. But look at that. That looks so good. Let's taste it. Hot. Delicious. I love it. Hope you try it. Easy peasy. And enjoy.